Okay, Korea Zog Stooge, General Flynn, has actually been putting a few truth bombs out there, but like I said, doesn't mean he's on your side. Like he said, October 7th was a false flag, which I think it definitely was. And here he is on the AIDS virus, which a lot of us think is man-made. And there's not many videos on YouTube about AIDS being man-made, so I'm going to title it General Michael Flynn on the AIDS virus. So I'm not going to say he says it's man-made or likely man-made, because I don't know, I may get penalized by YouTube for this. So, but I'm going to play this video of General Michael Flynn on the AIDS virus here.
And I think if you really dug deep into the whole AIDS virus, the virus of it, that that you would find that it was probably like we learned with COVID, and monkeypox, right? Monkeypox, the Mpox. The key word, I think, for all of these is manufactured, and manufactured for a specific reason. And in our case, all by the United States of America, all by the United States government. And so AZT, as he said, and I know the total numbers of it's probably well north of that were killed by taking a drug that was known at the time that was going to actually have that kind of an effect. And so then they created these buyers clubs, and we talked about the buyers clubs. This is really a black market. When you think about COVID, we almost had to have, to get ivermectin was like having to go on the black market, even though ivermectin, won a health prize, a health Nobel Prize years ago. I mean, the insanity that we are faced with when we talk about people in our government that have still yet to be held accountable. And, you can look through all the other stuff that he talked about with his uncle Ted, Senator Ted Kennedy, who's got his own interesting background. And all that other sort of first that Senator Kennedy did, what it really comes down to is our government involved in manufacturing diseases and then manufacturing drugs that are supposed to help when in fact they don't help, just like the vaccines that we have now learned. And it's interesting that it just so happens that today I got an update on my friend that did go in for surgery, so he ended up, and this is a very healthy guy, known my whole life. He ended up having to go 3 bypasses, right? Just came out of surgery, and they're gonna, extubate him off of a breathing apparatus. I mean, this is a guy that, should be no problems. I mean, he's a very healthy guy, but no. And as I've said, it's actually, I'm probably, sadly now, probably upwards of about 6 people that I know that were fully vaccinated because they were either, they had to be because of jobs or because of other circumstances, and they made that decision, and now they're dead. And when I look at I look at everything that's going on around in our country right now, and we look at people like Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci goes so far back in our government's history, and I'm talking 25, 35 years, where this guy has been involved in nefarious acts that have resulted in the deaths of many, many people. Sad, that's what Bobby Kennedy was just talking about. The guy created a drug that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of men, in this case mostly men, because of AIDS. And, say what you want about AIDS, say what you want about gay people, nobody deserves that kind of a fate, no one.